Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Abdullah Anggraini, and in this video I'm going to explain about my proposal or the research I conduct. The title is The Effects of Young Reading Strategy on Indonesian AFL Students' Reading Comprehension. And in this PowerPoint, the tables of the contents, as you can see, is the introduction of topic, the importance of this topic and the study, what has been known from the research, and what we need to know from the research and the research gap or the novelty. First, the introduction. Chunking has emerged as a powerful tool in how we process information, especially when it comes to understanding language. The strategy can make a real difference in tackling comprehension challenges. So, what exactly is chunking? It's the practice of breaking down text into smaller, more digestible pieces or chunks. This approach aligns well with how our brains naturally work. According to Howe, our brains handle information in three stages: sensory memory, working memory, and long-term memory. The importance of the topic and the study. For EFL students, using chunking strategies can ease cognitive load and lead to better understanding of the material. By identifying key phrases and sentences, learners can improve their reading fluency and overall performance. In a study conducted by Nishida, it was found that teaching learners to read in chunks significantly improved the reading comprehension skills of English as a foreign language or EFL students. Nishida also stated that when we read a text, several processes unfold naturally. It starts with recognizing and understanding individual words, or we call it vocabulary processing. Then, we move on to grasping meaning from groups of words or phrases, chunking. Finally, we process entire sentences by making sense of their structures and syntax, allowing us to fully comprehend what we are reading. What have we known from the research? So, study by Yamashita and Ichikawa explored how breaking text into meaningful chunks affects reading in second language. They work with intermediate and advanced Japanese learners of English to see how chunking impacts understanding, speed, and rereading. Intermediate learners struggle with fragmented text, finding it harder to read smoothly or understand. Properly chunked text didn't make them faster but helped them grasp the meaning better. Advanced learners, on the other hand, read quickly and accurately no matter how the text was arranged, showing their stronger reading skills. The takeaway: proper text chunking helps less advanced readers by making reading easier. There's also another study by Nettie, Jacob and Cowan in 2018. They looked into how chunking grouping bits of information into meaningful units help us manage memory whether in simple or complex tasks. At first, chunking was thought to work best in simple situations where there's time to organize what you are trying to remember, but their findings told a different story. Chunking is just as useful in more complicated tasks, even when you are juggling other activities. The key to chunking lies in patterns of regularity in the material, a concept they call compressibility. For example, instead of remembering separate digits like 1984, you can group them into 1984. This ability to compress information doesn't just apply to straightforward memorization, but also to tasks where you are solving problems or multitasking. What's fascinating is that chunking seems to happen automatically even when we are distracted. In their study, participants could form chunks under pressure, pressure. For instance, when the material was easy to chunk, people could recall about four items in simple tasks and two in complex ones. But when chunking was harder, performance dropped significantly. This suggests that the ability to chunk is deeply ingrained and surprisingly resilient. Their research challenges the idea that multitasking or divided attention prevent us from organizing what we are trying to remember. Instead, it showed that chunking is a natural, powerful tool our brains use to process information, even when time is limited or our focus is divided. It's not just a handy trick for memory, it's a fundamental part of how we think and learn. And what we need to know, according to Hong, our brains handle information in three stages. There's sensory memory, working memory, and long-term memory. I already um, say read this in the introduction. And the research gap on this research is there's still no research in this topic in Indonesian students. I barely, I don't even find any research on Indonesian students. So the reason why I choose this because personally I also struggle to remember long text by uh, chunk by reading it in chunks. I able to remember the word, the sentence, and that's all for me. I'm sorry if I make a mistake. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.